Moving to Manila feels easy, right up until you start making these mistakes. Most Americans assume moving to Manila will be easy until they actually make the move. Once challenges start piling up, many expats realize it's far more complicated than it looks. We break down the biggest errors Americans make when moving to Manila, backed by insights from Expatistan, Budget Your Trip, and Internations. Stay with us until the end, where we'll reveal the real reason life in Manila can feel so hard. One wrong address in Manila can quietly turn your dream move into a daily struggle. Before arriving, it's easy to believe the expectation. All Manila is similar. From the outside, it looks like one giant city, dense, energetic, and full of opportunity. You assume wherever you land, you'll adapt. After all, it's just a matter of getting used to the culture, right? But the reality hits fast, and it hits differently depending on where you are. Manila isn't one uniform place. It's a patchwork of drastically different environments. Spend time in Bonifacio Global City, and everything feels structured, walkable, and polished. Head to Makati, and you'll notice a blend of business districts, nightlife, and older neighborhoods all packed together. Then there's Pasay, where the pace can feel more chaotic, the streets more crowded, and the day-to-day experience far less predictable depending on your exact location. These differences aren't just visual, they shape your entire lifestyle. Where you live in Manila determines your entire experience. It decides how long you'll sit in traffic every day, whether you can comfortably walk outside, how easy it is to find groceries or a good gym, and even how safe and relaxed you feel at night. Two people can live just a few kilometers apart and have completely different opinions about the city. And this is where most people get it wrong. They pick a place based on price, a quick online search, or a short-term stay without fully understanding how that area actually functions day to day. At first, it might seem manageable, but over time the small inconveniences stack up. Longer commutes, limited access to essentials, noise, stress, it all compounds. Because getting this one decision wrong doesn't stay contained to your address. It spills into everything else: your routine, your mood, your productivity, and your overall quality of life. Get the location right and Manila can feel exciting and full of opportunity. Get it wrong, and even simple things start to feel harder than they should. What looks like a quick 10-minute trip on the map can easily turn into an hour you never get back. One of the fastest ways Manila resets your expectations is through traffic. Before living here, it's natural to assume that short distances mean short travel times. You glance at the map, see that your destination is just a few kilometers away, and think, that's easy. But in Manila, short distance does not equal short time, not even close. A simple trip from Bonifacio Global City to Makati can stretch far longer than expected, especially during peak hours. Even moving within areas like Pasay can feel unpredictable. What should be a quick errand suddenly becomes a test of patience, timing, and endurance. At first, it's just an inconvenience. You leave earlier, adjust your schedule, and try to stay flexible, but then it becomes daily. The commute starts eating into your mornings, your evenings, and even your energy. Plans have to be spaced out. Meeting a friend across town feels like a commitment, not a casual decision. You begin to think twice about going anywhere at all. That's when the frustration really sets in. Traffic in Manila isn't just about being stuck on the road. It reshapes how you live. It affects when you wake up, how you plan your day, and how much you can realistically accomplish. Something as simple as grabbing dinner or going to the gym can require serious planning. Over time, the constant stop and go, the unpredictability, and the lost hours start to wear you down. And the biggest realization comes later than you'd expect. You don't realize how much traffic affects your life until it controls your day, until your schedule revolves around avoiding rush hour, until your choices shrink based on what's worth the trip. Until you start measuring distance, not in kilometers, but in minutes or hours. In Manila, traffic isn't just part of the background. It becomes a defining force in your daily life, whether you plan for it or not. Stick around, we're just getting started. Let's see what thinking everything is cheap in the city gets you. The biggest budget mistake in Manila isn't overspending, it's assuming you won't. At first glance, everything seems affordable. You hear about low rent, cheap street food, and a lower cost of living compared to the US, and it creates a strong expectation. Life here is going to be cheap, and technically it can be, but that's only one version of Manila. Step into places like SM Mall of Asia or Greenbelt Mall, and the picture starts to change. Suddenly, you're surrounded by international brands, upscale restaurants, and familiar comforts from back home. Dinner at a nice restaurant, regular coffee runs, gym memberships, and nights out can add up quickly. And if you rely on imported goods, whether it's groceries, gadgets, or specialty items, you'll notice the prices can rival or even exceed what you pay in the US. This is where many people get caught off guard. The real truth is that your lifestyle determines your cost. If you lean into local markets, eat Filipino food daily, and keep things simple, you can live very affordably. But if you prefer air-conditioned malls, Western-style dining, and imported products, your monthly expenses start climbing fast, sometimes without you even realizing it at first. It's not about one being right or wrong. It's about understanding the trade-offs, because Manila offers both extremes at the same time. You can grab an incredibly cheap local meal in one moment, then spend far more than expected just a few steps away in a different setting. That contrast is part of what makes the city unique, but also what makes budgeting tricky. And this is the key realization most newcomers miss. Manila can either be cheap or surprisingly expensive. It all depends on the choices you make every single day, where you shop, where you eat, and how closely your lifestyle matches what you were used to before. If you assume everything will automatically be a bargain, you'll feel the strain quickly. But if you understand how the city really works, you can control your costs instead of being surprised by them. What most people don't realize is that in Manila, comfort isn't built in, it's added on. At first, it's easy to assume your basic rent already covers a comfortable lifestyle. You find a decent looking place, the price seems reasonable, and you think you've secured a good deal. But after settling in, small gaps start to appear, and they all point to the same thing. Comfort here comes at an extra cost. Take air conditioning, for example. In a city with year-round heat and humidity, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. But running it daily can significantly increase your electricity bill, especially if your unit isn't energy efficient or well insulated. What seemed like a cheap apartment quickly feels different once you factor in how often you need to stay cool just to function comfortably. Then there's internet. On paper, it's easy to assume you'll have reliable, high-speed access anywhere. In reality, that depends heavily on your provider and location. Services from companies like PLDT or Globe Telecom can vary in speed and consistency depending on the building and area. If your work or daily life depends on stable internet, you may find yourself upgrading plans, adding backups, or even switching locations entirely, each adding to your monthly expenses. And then there's the building itself. Modern condos with good security, consistent utilities, elevators that work, and amenities like gyms or pools are available, but they come at a higher price. Older buildings might look fine at first glance, but they often come with trade-offs. Weaker water pressure, occasional outages, or less reliable maintenance. Over time, those small inconveniences can wear you down. This is where expectations and reality split. Many people arrive thinking affordability automatically includes comfort, but in Manila, the two are often separate choices. You can keep costs low or you can upgrade your environment. But doing both at the same time takes careful planning, because at the end of the day, comfort in Manila isn't automatic. It's something you pay for. Keep watching. We'll show you what can be the result of ignoring lifestyle adjustment in the city. The hardest part about Manila isn't what you expect. It's what you feel every single day. You can prepare for costs, traffic, and logistics, but lifestyle adjustment is the one mistake that catches people off guard. Before arriving, it's easy to assume you'll adapt quickly. After all, it's just another big city, right? But Manila has a way of hitting your senses all at once. Start with the noise. It's constant. Jeepneys passing, horns blaring, construction in the distance, people moving at all hours. It rarely fully stops. Even in more developed areas like Bonifacio Global City or Makati, there's always a background hum. In busier zones like Pasay, that hum can turn into something much louder and more persistent. Then there's the density. Manila is packed. Sidewalks, malls, public transport, everything is shared with a constant flow of people. Personal space feels different here. Simple tasks like grocery shopping or grabbing a coffee can involve navigating crowds, waiting longer, and adjusting your expectations of convenience. And the pace of life? It's unpredictable. Not necessarily slow or fast, just inconsistent. One moment things move quickly, the next you're stuck waiting, whether it's in traffic, in line, or for a service. Plans shift, timing changes. What would be a straightforward errand somewhere else can take far more time and energy here. Individually, these things might seem manageable, but combined, they create a completely different rhythm of living. That's where the real challenge begins, because it's not just different, it's overwhelming at first. The sensory overload, the constant movement, the lack of quiet predictability, it can drain you before you even realize it. And if you're not mentally prepared for that shift, frustration builds quickly. Adjusting to Manila isn't just about learning routes or finding the best places to eat. It's about recalibrating how you experience daily life, how you handle noise, crowds, and unpredictability. Once you adapt, it becomes part of the flow. But until you do, it can feel like the city is always one step ahead of you. Make sure to watch all the way through. You won't believe what happens if you rely too much on convenience. The easiest habits to build in Manila are also the fastest ways to drain your budget. At first, convenience feels like a lifesaver. You arrive, everything is new, and naturally, you lean on what makes daily life easier. Need a ride? You open Grab. Hungry? Food delivery apps are everywhere, offering endless choices without stepping outside. Too tired to cook? Eating out becomes the default. It all feels efficient, manageable, even justified. And individually, it is. A ride here, a delivery there, a casual dinner out. It doesn't seem like much in the moment. In fact, compared to Western prices, some of these costs might even feel reasonable. That's where the trap begins. Because nothing feels expensive enough to question. But over time, the pattern sets in. Convenience turns into routine. Instead of planning routes, you book rides. Instead of grocery shopping, you scroll menus. Instead of occasional treats, eating out becomes part of your weekly rhythm. And slowly, without any single big purchase, your spending starts to climb. This is where the shift happens, from control to autopilot. Those small expenses begin stacking up in ways that aren't immediately obvious. Multiple short rides in a day, delivery fees and service charges added to every order, restaurant meals that cost more than cooking at home. Each decision feels minor, but together they reshape your entire budget. And the biggest challenge, you don't feel it right away. There's no single moment where it all goes wrong. No dramatic overspending. Just a gradual increase that's easy to overlook until you finally sit down and look at your monthly expenses. That's when the realization hits. This is where budgets quietly fall apart. Not because of one big mistake, but because of dozens of small, convenient choices made every day. The very tools that make Manila easier to navigate can also make it easier to overspend without noticing. Convenience isn't the problem, it's relying on it too much without balance. Because in a city built around accessibility and options, discipline matters just as much as flexibility. You'll want to see what happens when you fail to build a structure in your Manila living. Trust me, the moment you stop planning your days in Manila, the city quietly starts planning them for you. At first, it feels like freedom. No strict schedule, no fixed routine, no pressure to follow the clock. You can wake up late, work from anywhere, eat whenever you want, and move through the city on your own terms. It feels like the perfect lifestyle upgrade, especially after a structured life back home. But that's exactly where the problem begins. Without realizing it, days start blending together. There's no clear start, no defined rhythm, and no consistent structure guiding how time is spent. One late breakfast turns into a late lunch. A quick errand turns into a long trip because of traffic or distractions. A productive morning turns into an unplanned afternoon. Too much freedom sounds ideal, but without structure, it slowly works against you. Manila makes this even easier to fall into. The city doesn't demand a rigid routine from you. No one is forcing a schedule. Services are available at almost any time. Places stay open late, and digital tools like Grab or delivery apps make it possible to function without planning ahead. On the surface, everything feels flexible and convenient, but over time, that flexibility becomes drift. Productivity starts to drop, not suddenly, but gradually. Tasks take longer to complete. Focus becomes inconsistent. Motivation comes in waves instead of habits. Without a defined structure, even simple goals feel harder to follow through on. There's always later, and later keeps moving. And this is the subtle trap. Because nothing feels broken, there's no obvious failure, no single mistake to fix. Just a slow loss of momentum that's easy to ignore until you realize your days don't feel as full or as controlled as you expected. That's when the truth becomes clear. Easy living without structure turns into chaos. Not the loud kind, but the quiet kind, where time slips away, routines disappear, and every day feels slightly unanchored. In a city as dynamic as Manila, structure isn't about restriction, it's about stability. Without it, freedom doesn't feel freeing for long. It starts to feel scattered. What we reveal to be the real reason living in Manila can feel hard might just find you bewildered. The real reason living in Manila feels hard isn't what most people think. It's not traffic, not cost, not the city itself. It's Americans expecting Manila to adjust to them, instead of adjusting to Manila. That's where the friction begins. Many arrive expecting US-level efficiency everywhere, assuming systems will always be predictable and fast. They expect convenience on demand, smooth roads, instant service, seamless routines, and most of all, they expect a lifestyle without trade-offs, where comfort, cost, and speed all align perfectly. But Manila doesn't operate on those expectations. Once that mismatch sets in, everything starts to feel harder than it actually is. Not because the city is broken, but because the expectations don't match reality. The truth is simple. Manila works only if you understand how to live in it. And that's where everything changes. The people who enjoy Manila long term don't fight the city. They design around it. There are 3 rules that quietly separate frustration from comfort. First, choose location over price. Live close to everything you need. Being near work, essentials, and key areas like Bonifacio Global City or Makati reduces friction more than saving a few dollars on rent ever will. Second, design your daily life. Reduce commuting, simplify routines, and plan around how the city actually moves, not how you wish it moved. Third, budget for your lifestyle, not the cheapest version of it. Pay for convenience strategically instead of accidentally overspending on it daily. When these adjustments are made, Manila stops feeling like a constant struggle and starts feeling manageable, even enjoyable, because the people who enjoy Manila don't fight it, they design around it. And that's the final realization. Manila isn't difficult, it's misunderstood. For more insights on living in Manila, check out the other videos we've put together that go deeper into the realities of expat life in the city.